up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. On your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey.
Thank you very much, and so nice to have you with us, Sophia. How beautiful. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask of you is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life by simply changing your mind about how you show up in this life. It's so lovely to be opened with such beautiful music this morning. I'm so grateful for it. And if you are with us for the very first time today, welcome. I hope you will feel the warmth that we feel inside having you with us. And that's how we feel about our online audience as well. If you're watching us online, please take a moment to share this broadcast with your friends so that they may know about our service. If you are new to the center and you'd like to know more about what is going on, we have a website that's quite comprehensive. It's very easy to find. It's the letters of our center, CSLSR.org. And there you will find a bulletin, a monthly bulletin with all kinds of information. Look for the graphic of the typewriter and click on that and it'll take you to this. If you prefer to pick up a hard copy, you can do that right outside at the information kiosk, the table, and you can take that home with you. We change that up every month so that it stays current with classes, events, and information at our center. You can also pick up a blue welcome packet. And in that, there is all kinds of interesting information, including an explanation of the symbol and all of the religions depicted on it. And this is the sort of thing you can share with friends if you'd like, when people say, what is it that you do at that Center for Spiritual Living? This is an easy way of answering that. We also offer a youth and family program, and we have our youth and family director right here, Jennifer Colton. Won't you stand up so we can appreciate you? Through Jennifer and all of her volunteers, we help our children, elementary school, middle schoolers, teenagers, you name it, toddlers too, get plugged into our community so they can feel part of this spiritual family growing. Speak to her. She'll tell you how you can help support our children in this community. And now, if you would join me, please, in speaking out loud our vision and mission as a community. Here we go. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling vision of a healthy, loving world, which we call the global vision. This vision inspires us to bring forth the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. Now, we follow this vision through by the five core spiritual practices in our teaching. Won't you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We use flowers at the Center for Spiritual Living to share our love with each other. This beautiful flower arrangement before you today is from Kathy Sekor, and they are for her brother Michael John Sekor, and they are in memory of his birthday, which would be tomorrow, October 9th. So thank you, Kathy, for sharing the memory of your brother with all of us. Coming up in the middle of October is our annual Giving Intention season. And for those of you who have been around for a while, you know that's the time when we mindfully consider what this center means to us, how it's changed our lives, enhanced our lives, and how we plan to support it financially next year in 2024. So I invite you to start thinking about that right now so that when October 15 comes around, we can be ready to complete our giving intention forms and help sustain the future of this center. We need each other for this center to thrive and to stay open. So whether you're a member or a friend or a guest or a visitor, we invite you to think about what this center means to you and how it has impacted your life. We've been asking people that and video recording their answers. This is how Atreyo, who's right here on our stage on the drums, answered the question for us. Here's the video.
When I came to the center, I was already at the beginning of my spiritual journey. Oftentimes, I felt alone on my path, as not many of my peers seemed to understand the importance of said journey. There seems to be a very interesting phenomenon that still continues now. Whether I'm participating as a congregant or a worship musician, every service has always struck a chord with a prevalent situation in my life at that very moment. Because of this, I began to feel less alone in my journey and began to embrace the growth and change in my spirituality. I emphasize that everyone in the center has their path and we all have struggles in our lives no matter where we are in our journey. We just need a place to recalibrate together. For that, I'm very grateful for the center and I'm honored to be a part of it with you.
I love that phrase, a place to recalibrate. And so let us do that together right now. I know that somewhere between the music and the meditation and the prayer practice and the message today is exactly what you need to experience the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are welcome here. Now please enjoy some music that will lead us into a short time of silent contemplation before our prayer by practitioner Peggy Weber. Welcome.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world filled with chaos and noise, so I wake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world filled with chaos and noise, so I wake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find God, I find myself. So I wake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find God, I find myself.
In this silence, there is an infinite presence. It is life. It is life. It is divine energy. It is that one source, that one power, that ground of being from which we all are rooted. It is whole, complete, and perfect, no matter how it looks. It is energy in, as, through, and surrounding all, in every idea, in every word, in every action. It is simply a divine guider, and it is always flowing. As I am one with that source, so is each person in this sanctuary and beyond. Each of us, a gift, with the divine at our center, showing the world who we are as individuated expressions of that divine energy, of that one love. I accept for this service today a sense of loving community, of sharing, of expressing, of listening, of simply being together, sharing that one presence that is always around as absolute goodness for all. I give great thanks for this time. I cherish this time. And I simply release this word into the law, which always acts as it is directed. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Good morning, everybody. My name is Peggy Weber, and I'm a prayer practitioner here at the center, loving every minute of what the center is and who we are. Would you please join me in the affirmation that is behind me as we read, I am open to possibility as I discover multiple perspectives. Amen.
Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. I was struggling with a mighty problem. It kept me up half the night. The more I tried to overcome it, the harder I seemed to fight. So I asked a friend for help to solve it, something to give me an edge. But instead of joining the battle, this is what she said. Are you willing to stop? Step back, breathe and be open. Stop, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe, be open. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back.
Try that with us.
Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. I said this all sounds a little bit crazy. Why would I just wanna quit? She said it's more like surrender. There's nothing for you to fix. In fact, there's not even a problem, though you believe that it's true. But if you take some time to rest your mind, the answers will come through. Are you willing to stop? Step back, breathe and be open. Stop, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe, be open. Well, you can bang your head against the wall over and over. You'll only damage your brain. But if you keep expecting the wall to fall down, that's a little something that just might be called insane. Are you willing to stop, step back, breathe and be open, stop, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back.
Thank you, Sophia. Chris, gentlemen of the band. Stop, step back, be open. What great advice. And of course, who doesn't want to sing Sha-na-na, just in general. So good morning, I'm Joyce Duffala, a minister here. And this month's theme is playing with paradox. I really love that, the idea of playing with the inconsistencies of life. I mean, it can get crazy. It doesn't make sense. So we might as well just bring a sense of experimentation and playing to this thing called paradox, this thing called inconsistencies, this thing called what the heck's wrong with that person. Anyhow, last week, if you didn't hear Dr. Edwards' kickoff talk for the month, it was really good. I really appreciate it a lot. Do yourself a favor. You can find how to get to it via our website. I think you'll enjoy it. Today's topic, the first two words are getting comfortable. So let's just linger there for a moment. Why don't we all, whether you're sitting here in our sanctuary in Santa Rosa or you're joining us from some time, some when, why don't we each just take a moment and get comfortable? And it might be a good idea to note what you just did. Maybe you let your jaw relax or shook out your shoulders. Maybe you felt yourself get heavier in your chair, sinking into it, taking a deep breath. Maybe you imagined yourself lying in a hammock among trees, listening to waves. It's important to know how to get comfortable, especially in terms of the rest of the title today, which is Getting Comfortable with Discomfort. Boy, are we being called to do that these days, aren't we? I mean, unheard of weather events, a national political scene that is not exactly encouraging. We've got, random acts of violence, just who knows when. And I ask you to pause just a moment and do a check. Are you still feeling comfortable? As Louise Hay told us, it's just a thought, and a thought can be changed. So me reading that list of uncomfortable things, you hearing it, perhaps having a mental reaction, it's just a thought, and a thought can be changed. So let's just check back in and make sure we're comfortable. If anything's changed, just do what you can to shift it. It's important. This is no small thing. It's important in the midst of discomfort to be able to get physically comfortable. You can do it anytime, anywhere, at some meeting, some person you're talking to you don't like. Just the ability to go inside and get physically comfortable has a good effect not only on you, but on other people around you. As I was preparing today's talk, I realized that we all have some great things to say about how to get comfortable with discomfort. We've been through repeated wildfires, life disrupted, some of us in our community losing our homes. We've been through a pandemic together. We tend to forget about it, but it was months and months of fear and uncertainty and isolation. And this is all in addition to the everyday life stuff that can happen, like an unexpected diagnosis for oneself or somebody else, a loss of employment, or grieving the passing of a close one. You probably already know quite a bit about how to stay comfortable in discomfort. So it would be interesting if we could share the mic and each of us giving our strategies, our best practices for how to get comfortable in discomfort. I know I have a range of ways for getting comfortable with discomfort. Some of them work better than others. For example, there's a whole set of ways that I've found, and perhaps you have too, of getting comfortable with discomfort by numbing the feeling of discomfort. Chocolate, mashed potatoes or other comfort foods, alcohol, all designed to numb the discomfort. Regrettably, the problem with these that I've noticed, and perhaps you have too, is that they're a very temporary solution. I mean, there's only so much chocolate, so many mashed potatoes, so much alcohol a person can consume before the thing that seemed to be making us comfortable itself becomes a source of discomfort. So that raises the question, is there something more permanent, more reliable that we can turn to help ourselves get comfortable with discomfort? Recently, I was taking a spiritual retreat. I was online, and we were all there focusing on our inherent, essential, eternal, divine being. And while I had the luxury of being in my home in Sonoma County, one of the participants was coming in online from her home in Ukraine, where her town was under threat of attack. Of course, our hearts went out to her. All of us sympathized with her situation. But none of us, including the teacher, could actually empathize with her situation. None of us could know what it was like for her to be sitting in her living room in the middle of her life with disruption guaranteed and sudden death a real possibility. And even though I can't remember what was said during this retreat, I do remember what I witnessed. I witnessed her becoming more calm, more assured, more peaceful, more content, and more accepting of what was going on around her. It was as though she recognized that in spite of the circumstances, that fundamentally all is well. It was as though she knew that whatever happened, she would be all right, whether in her current physical form or somehow else. Wouldn't it be great to know that all the time? All is well. I am well. So let's take a look at our spiritual philosophy and toolbox to see if there is something in it to help us get comfortable with discomfort. First of all, the author of our spiritual philosophy, Ernest Holmes, made a stunning statement about what to do if there's something in your life that is not comfortable, like a money issue or a health issue, one of those things. Holmes said, you've probably heard this before, Holmes said, turn away from the condition. And when I first heard that, I thought, what? Ignore the condition? Deny the condition? But that's not what he meant. He meant something like, don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. He meant something like, don't focus on what you don't want, focus on what you do want. I remember when I was new here and I went to after-service prayer, and the practitioner would say, what would you like prayer for? So I'd say, well, I have this pain in my foot and I want it to go away. And the practitioner would say, what do you want prayer for? And I'd think, I just told you that. I don't get it. What does she mean? So after a few exchanges, I got it, that what the practitioner was inviting me to do was not answer the question, what don't you want, but consider the question, what do you want? The path out of discomfort was not pain, pain, go away. The path out of discomfort was, I welcome comfort, ease, and healing in my foot. Putting our attention on being open to what we do want. That's why when you go to after-service prayer these days, so often the practitioner will ask you, what would you like to experience? Or here's something I learned from my practitioner friend, Jennifer Mann. If I ask her for a prayer and start talking about all the things I don't want, she'll say, I understand what you don't want. What would you like instead of that? What would you like instead of that? Turn away from the condition. As some of you know, many years ago, I received a diagnosis of cancer. And after the diagnosis, I did my due diligence and figured out the path forward with my allopathic Western medical team and with my alternative healthcare team. And I noticed, even after doing that due diligence and setting everything up, I nonetheless would sometimes obsess about how things were going in my body. Were things getting better? Were things getting worse? What was really going on in there? Then one day I realized, hey, wait a minute. You have a medical team and a healing team tracking how your body is doing. They will let you know if anything in your body needs attention. Let them do their job. You, I said to myself, you have other things to do that only you can do. Okay, what were those things? What was mine to do? Well, since they were in control of disease eradication, I could put my attention on creating an atmosphere of welcome for healing. I could do my personal spiritual practices. I could stay in touch with my spiritual community, have regular conversations with a prayer practitioner, be sure I was eating well and exercising, spend more time with close friends and family, make more time for doing the things that uplift me, like in my case, going on walks in nature and doing music. In fact, since we're all here, having taken a moment out of our busy, busy lives, why don't we all just consider for a moment, what do I like to do that uplifts me? Well, as I was saying, it's a funny thing about this spiritual tool of asking the question, what is mine to do? I had to learn it again this week. You may have noticed that there are some legal proceedings happening on the national stage. And I began this week wanting to make sure that everything was going okay. And how did I make sure that everything was going okay? By scrolling my phone a lot, looking for news stories, looking for analyses, looking for opinions. Well, after a couple of days of this somewhat frantic scrolling, I noticed that my level of agitation had increased, and I noticed that I wasn't sleeping so well. So I, at one point, thought, I wonder if there is a correlation between how much I'm frantically scrolling my phone and how agitated and sleepless I feel. And then I realized what I learned so long ago, let the legal people do their work. It's not your work. You have other work to do that you can do. Put your attention on what is yours to do. And I realized that what is mine to do, and perhaps yours also, is to put our attention on the opposite of that stuff. Our job is to put our attention on the opposite of that divisive conflict. Our job is to do what we can to reveal peace in our thinking, in our words, in our acts of kindness towards others. My job, our job, is to create an atmosphere of harmony, both with our internal prayer, meditation, and thinking, and our external words and actions. And that's also along the lines of what Ernest meant when he invited us to take our attention off of what we don't want and place it on what we do want. Asking ourselves the question, in this discomfortable, uncomfortable situation, what is mine to do? If you heard my talk a couple weeks ago, it was September 24th, you may recall the image of the sky and the clouds. It's an image inspired by spiritual teacher Rupert Spira, and it applies to what we're talking about today. Today we can think of that blue sky, always present, pervasive blue sky, as the underlying, essential, real, divine peace that is always there. And the clouds are those things, honestly, they're mostly thoughts and perception. The clouds are those things that temporarily block our view of this fundamental state, this divine state of contentment, equilibrium, comfort, divine peace that is always present. Those clouds of discomfort can seem so real, but in fact, they're just temporary. And so we can ask ourselves, what is behind the clouds? In this situation, what is also here? What is the more that is here? What is behind the clouds? What is the nature of the permanent reality behind these passing uncomfortable things? And as we put our attention on that reality of peace and comfort, it also helps us do what we can to reveal more of it in the world. I came across another use of the image of the sky and clouds, and I wanted to share it with you. It comes from an article written by Ariana Kaiser Varnum. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, you might think, hey, isn't that her daughter's name, Ariana Kaiser Varnum? And it is. And this is what she wrote in this article. When practicing meditation, we are encouraged to let our emotions and thoughts pass through our mind, simply observing them as they come and go. This is far easier said than done. But the most useful analogy I've heard is to think of my mind as the sky and my feelings as the weather. Like a storm, my feelings may dominate the entirety of my internal horizon, but it's a moving front, not a permanent fixture. It may be scary in its force or seem all-encompassing, but the storm is, by its very nature, temporary, merely moving through. My feelings are not who I am at my core. They are, rather, my current experience, and experience changes. It always does. This comforting reassurance that nothing lasts forever is summed up by the words that come to mind every time I am facing emotional turmoil. Overused though it may be, I find much solace in the phrase, "This too shall pass." My mother shared it with me when I was suffering some sort of adolescent heartbreak. It had been her mother's favorite phrase. And for me, just as it did after that early teen ordeal, it has proven true time and time again, as it did for my mother and for my mother's mother and countless other souls at countless other moments and countless other lifetimes. This too shall pass. No matter what it is, it will pass. We might not know how or when, but we can rest assured that things will most definitely change. This too shall pass. Here's another phrase I've been working with to get comfortable with discomfort. This one's a little more challenging. Here it is. Nothing has gone wrong. In spite of temporary thoughts, feelings, or apparent circumstances, fundamentally, nothing has gone wrong. This is the logical conclusion from our teaching. Since spirit is good, and this good of spirit is expressing in, through, and as each of us, then what we must be expressing is good. Even something that seems to be a mistake is part of the process of revealing more good. This past week, someone I know who is very well steeped in our philosophy had a surprise medical thing happen and ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. I went to visit her, and as we were talking, I said, well, I don't know if it applies here, but according to our philosophy, nothing has gone wrong. And her face lit up. She smiled, her eyes opened, and she said, "You're right, nothing has gone wrong." And just like what I saw happening with that woman in Ukraine, I don't know how my friend was able to step so quickly out of condition and back to the truth of spiritual reality. I don't know how she instantly parted the clouds to see the sky, but I witnessed her doing it. Here's something that helps me move the clouds to reveal the sky. It's actually something I mentioned in a talk last year. I bring it up because I have to remind myself of this. The ancient, as in thousands of years, the ancient tradition of Vedic astrology tells us that 2 years ago, 2021, 2 years ago, we emerged from one epoch into another. Now, these epochs are called in Sanskrit yugas, yuga, and they are 432 years long. So we have now left the 432-year-long Kali Yuga, which means dark age, and we have entered the new Sat Yuga, which means golden age. Imagine that. We made it. We're out of the dark age and into the golden age. But as we look around our world, can we see any evidence that we are in the golden age? Can we see any evidence that the last vestiges of the dark age are being shuffled off? Well, let's think of those things I mentioned at the beginning of the talk. Yes, there are random acts of violence, and there's an ever-increasing demand for it to stop, and policy ideas for how to move in that direction. Yes, our national political scene looks chaotic, and meanwhile, there are ever-spreading grassroots movements supporting justice, equity, and a world that works for everyone. Yes, there are climate challenges, and there's also an ever-increasing amount of creative climate solutions. So maybe, just maybe, it is true that we really do live in a spiritual universe that is for us. And maybe, just maybe, as we remember this, we can remain a bit more comfortable within ourselves, no matter what discomfort is going on around us. As a step in that direction, Chris Fritchie and I would like to close by once again inviting you to get comfortable where you are, perhaps letting your eyes close, perhaps noticing how your breath can help you relax. And just for a moment, let's bring to mind something in life which seems to have the potential for making us uncomfortable. Maybe it's a personal issue, a national, global issue, doesn't matter. And just for a moment, we remember that this situation is temporary, that this too shall pass. And just for a moment, we remember that in addition to this situation, there is something more. There's something good also present here. There is sky behind the cloud, a sky of divine equanimity, of comfort, of contentment, of divine peace. And just for a moment, we touch in on that peace.
I live in perfect love. I live in perfect peace. I leave the past behind. I let go. I release.
and I breathe in the light, and I live in the love.
And remembering that we live in a spiritual universe, a divine reality that is for us. We turn our attention away from what we don't want in this situation and put our attention on what we do want. We ask ourselves, what do I want? What is the highest good for me and everyone else in this situation? And now we each simply ask, what can I do to reveal more peace in this situation? What is mine to do? And finally, we ask ourselves, what words or picture can I use to help myself stay at peace? To remember that the peace of spirit is here and that only good is unfolding. What can I say to myself?
I live in perfect love. I live in perfect peace. I leave the past behind. I let go, I release, and I breathe in the light, and I live in the love of the one.
And so it is. Thank you, Chris. All right, final check-in. Are you feeling comfortable? If you are, Chris is for hire. Well, actually, literally, that's what we all do when we participate in our offering and our practice of spiritual circulation. We give, recognizing that we receive. Chris is here because of our gifts. Anything you see here, the lights, the chairs, everything. We are making it possible. And at this time in our service, we get to participate in that process. I mentioned, that cancer diagnosis was 14 years ago, if you can believe that, 14 years. But I mean, good thing, but... and I just remember, to this day, I'm so grateful getting through that journey. So grateful for this center, so grateful for this philosophy, so grateful for this community, so grateful for the things that were available to me at that time to enhance my spiritual practice. So grateful for those of you who were here then, the way you supported me in your own unique way. So it is, for me today, with my own sense of gratitude that I participate in our practice of giving. As you know, we make it as convenient as possible to give. You can give by text, or you can go to our website. And of course, here in the sanctuary, we can physically participate in the act of giving. I invite the ushers to stand. As we each take our gift in hand, we have the opportunity to say together, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does great work in the world for me and everyone else. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gifts.
Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit.
Thank you very much. I just loved that keyboard sound. I think you're getting us ready for Halloween. I like that. So start planning your Halloween costume, because I'll tell you about that in a moment. We're going to have such a fine time later on in October. But first, let me tell you that twice a year we welcome new members into our spiritual community. And we offer an orientation class, and we've completed 2 this year. So I want to have an opportunity to appreciate all those people who have become members this year. And won't you help me welcome all the names that you see displayed on the screen right now? And right here with me is one of our longtime members, Jennifer Mann. And Jennifer, how long have you been a member?
I didn't join right away, sorry.
Yeah.
I jumped in when I was in practitioner studies and became a member.
And that's
I became a practitioner in 1996.
right. So it's we've been dating quite a while. Yeah.
Before you were here.
If you want to join us, you can. Next year we'll offer 2 membership orientations, and you can come and be part of this spiritual community. But you can also just be a guest, a visitor, a friend. We all belong to the center in our own way. And one of the ways we belong is by being part of the leadership. And that's why Jennifer is here to tell you about how, if you are a member, you can become part of the elected leadership.
That's right. I'm going to tell you a bit of a personal journey, but I want to see if I'm talking to you, or you, or you. So listen how it worked. That's funny that you asked me that question. I came to the center before Edward was even here. And I sat in the back, and I received, and I learned, and I wept a lot. And I didn't do anything but come, receive, and leave for a long time. And eventually I thought, gosh, the teaching, there's a teaching ministry. So I started taking classes. And then in the classes, I got brave enough to try volunteering. And then the volunteering meant a lot to me. The selfless service aspect of our practices meant a lot to me. And they announced one day that there were openings on the board. And I was curious, how does this place do what it does? It's magic, it seems like. So I decided to take an application. And I took it home, and the practice of filling out that application really clarified who I was. Did I want this? Could I do this? And so I went on in. I ended up serving 1 year as an appointee and 3 more years elected, so 4 years. And I will tell you a secret. The secret is that you get on the board thinking you're going to help and be of service and give and give and give. But the receiving that happened in the deeper spiritual practices, the activities and the community and those relationships and the knowledge and the answering of the questions about my curiosity of how this place works was so rewarding. So if I'm talking to you, there is an opportunity through the month of November to just take a look, to talk to one of the trustees. They're out there at the information table, to go online and look at the application and just think about it. Is this you I was talking to? Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. You can also attend our Board of Trustees meetings. It happens on Zoom, so you can enjoy it from the comfort of your home to see what we do. Now, whether you're a member or a friend or a visitor, you can still participate in holding this community up and helping us spread the word about what's going on here. That's one of the ways that we can support the center. Tell people about what is going on at your center. For example, there's this beautiful art show. Maybe you've got people in your life that love art. And we've got this great art show coming up, and it's featuring, I think, over 45 artists with their original works. So you can tell your people, hey, come for the art, and maybe they'll stay for the inspiration and community later on. They'll come back. Now, this art show, listen to this, it begins with a reception on Friday night, November the 3rd, from 5 to 8 p.m. with snacks and mocktails and harp music. I think I saw Jewel right here in the audience. Jewel Shields is going to be playing the harp for us, so it's going to be quite lovely. You can pick up a flyer about the art show to take home, to put on your refrigerator to remind you that it's happening, or to display, as somebody suggested, in your place of work. Because this is something that anybody, friends, neighbors, family, can come and attend and enjoy. Likewise, with every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., we have a midweek service. This week features Reverend Scioto Bell, who is exploring how to embrace self-care during changing times, which means all the time. So when we invite our friends and neighbors to our spiritual center, we likely want them to feel welcomed. So being a welcoming community is very high on our priorities. That's why I'm offering a workshop on how to be radically welcoming. And that's on Sunday, October the 15th at 1 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. And we're going to learn about being warm and kind and authentic. These are important spiritual skills to develop. The workshop is open to anyone and everyone. And you can sign up at the on the website. There's a neon welcome sign. Click on that and it'll take you to the registration page. And by the way, if you are a current volunteer, the workshop's free for you. Now, another event you can invite your friends and family and neighbors to is this special screening of the documentary called The Politics of Beauty. and that's on November 5 at 1:30 p.m. We'll show it. It's a 78-minute documentary, and it celebrates the life and legacy of the former Interior Secretary Stuart L. Udall. And he's considered one of the most effective environmentalists in American history, and he fought tirelessly for the protection of our planet and its natural beauty. And he was the first public official to speak out about global warming. And get this, afterwards there'll be a short Q&A with the documentary's director, John DeGraff. So you sign up on our website, click on the Stuart Udall photo, pick up a flyer, and guess what? Put it in your refrigerator, give it to your friends and neighbors, display it in your place of work. This is a way that we can become active in helping people know that there is a spiritual community where they won't be preached to. You don't have to join or convert. You can come, as Jennifer said, and receive. Now, another event you can invite friends, family, neighbors, and children and grandchildren is our October pumpkin carving party. That's back. October 29th, real close to Halloween, which means you must wear a costume. Just one giggle from the choir. I remember once when Halloween happened on a Sunday, I got up and I delivered the message in a diving wetsuit and flippers. It's true. There are photos to prove it. So let's see if you can do better than that, more creative. Of course, you don't have to wear a costume, but it would be delightful if you did. Now, all of these activities, they require a lot of cleanup after they're done. So we have a job opening. Please tell somebody who might fit this job opening. It's a part-time janitor. The position is an 8 to 10 hour per week job for a person who's interested and capable of cleaning and maintaining very specific areas of this building. So if you're interested, please go to the information table and we'll tell you how to email Chandra Farnsworth, who is handling this for us. In fact, her email address is very easy to remember. It's her name with a dot in the middle, Chandra, C-H-A-N-D-R-A, which means moon, .Farnsworth at the letters of our center, CSLSR.org. But if that's too much to remember, you just go to the information table and we'll help connect you to Chandra for the part-time janitor position. We'd like to hire that yesterday. And now it is time for us to learn about our October nonprofit partner, Days for Girls. Here's an introduction to their work. Representing Days for Girls are volunteers from our very own community who are here to tell you all about how this works and how they prepare the packs. They include Brenda Coburn, Janet Dupree, Linda Almeida. They're out in the social hall to tell you how you can participate in supporting our nonprofit partner, Days for Girls. And now it is time for us to close our service with song and prayer. After the song is complete, there are prayer practitioners available around the sanctuary for your prayer. You just go to the back where Jerry will help connect you to a practitioner. And online you can do it on Zoom. Because people are praying in the sanctuary, we ask that you exit quietly, so that the prayer practitioner and the person receiving the prayer can hear each other. So I know sometimes we like to stay and visit. Well, stay in the social hall and visit. Just move quietly out, prayerfully out, and then they'll be able to receive the prayer wonderfully. So now, won't you please stand as you are able, saying, something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. I look forward to seeing you next week, and let us close now in song.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I